right, guys, name is Tyler, aka Nanogenix, and today it's that time again to do a before you summon for the brand new Transforming Zamasu, Transforming Trunks that are coming to the global side very soon. Now, I'm filming this prior to them being data downloaded, any of that. They've been previewed on Facebook. So if we know the date by the time this is live, I will put it down below in the comment section. So you guys can check down there if you want to see when it's coming, if you've, of course, missed that or haven't seen that yet. However, this is before you summon, so we're going to talk about the units. We're going to talk about the banners. I'm going to give you guys my opinion on them, all that fun stuff. So with that said, let's stop wasting time. Let's hop in. So first up, shout out to, of course, the Dokkan wiki. A link to it will be down below in the description, and a shout out to dbz.space. We'll be taking a look at some stuff over there. Both of these are fantastic resources if you're ever looking for anything related to Dokkan. Both of them probably have you covered. And another thing too, if you guys are new to the channel, you might hit that sub button. We're trying to hit 500,000 before the end of 2019. So we got a long ways to go. So if you're new here, you're returning, all those things, hit that red sub button. Let's dive in. So first up, we've got the Trunks. He's a Future Saga lead. He's also a super class lead, which makes him incredibly versatile as a leader, because basically as long as there's a super class unit that you want to run with them, you can do just that and they're going to be just fine. So Future Saga category key +3, HP and attack +170, defense +130, or super class key +3, HP and attack and defense +120 are his leader abilities. Super attack raises attack and causes miss damage to the enemy. Passive attack and defense +100%. Transformer conditions are met, and this unit, similar to this unit and Zamasu, both are what I think are like the sort of golden standard as to what a transferring unit should be, as well as the Tech Broly. I think all three of those units are fantastic for what a transferring unit should be, because he transforms after the third turn, which is just so freaking nice. Same thing for Zamasu. It means you're going to actually see this guy transform basically every time you use him, unless of course you're doing some daily stuff and obviously things that last only like 1 or 2 turns. But still, links to this guy are Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Lineage, Royal Lineage, Messenger from the Future, Dismal Future, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, fits into so many categories: Hybrid Saiyans, Future Saga, Time Travelers, Vegeta's Family, Transformation Boost, Super Saiyans, and Master and Student Bond. Now, of course, Master and Student Bond not released on the global side yet, but does come along with the Intelligence Future Gohan. So this guy is fantastic. He is so good, especially of course once he transforms, and he is in the same sort of fashion as a lot of these units that have been releasing lately, where they are totally geared towards being great for something like the legendary Goku event, the sort of history and Dragon Ball type event, infinite history, stuff like that, because he then becomes in a super attack, raises attack and defense, and causes immense damage to the enemy. So he infinitely raises his attack and defense. So a unit like this, even though he would have type disadvantage in the legendary Goku event at the finale, when you're facing off against the Intelligence UI Goku, he has type disadvantage, but because you've been going that entire time, probably leaving him on main rotation, he has built his defense up so high that UI Goku doesn't do anything to him, which is absolutely insane. So this unit, again, in the same fashion as to a lot of units recently, are being built out and more geared towards events like the Goku event, and I presume we're going to get many more like that, and for some reason they're rolling them out so slowly. I don't understand. It's clearly something they built out so they could then replace Goku with a Vegeta, replace Vegeta with like a Frieza, then a Cell, and then maybe like a Buu. Like, there are so many different things, or Trunks. There are so many different characters they could place in there and, you know, add them and give them different gimmicks and stuff like that to make it fun. And they haven't yet, but they're setting it up to giving you a lot of different units, a huge roster that can take advantage and actually be able to go into those events and stand somewhat of a chance. Passive then becomes attack and defense plus 120%, key +1 up to 4, and additional attack and defense plus 10% up to 80% at the start of each turn. Again, literally building this guy out so that way he transforms after the third turn, and then literally as he comes back, he's going to continually boost himself, not only from getting super attacks off, but also from his actual passive, supplying himself key, supplying himself an additional attack and defense boost, which again is why this man takes like no damage, even with type disadvantage. In an event where UI Goku on a neutral unit can put out like 500,000 damage, it's crazy that with type disadvantage, this guy can still defend for like double digits. Some links do get changed up on him. He gets Super Sand and Golden Warrior, and he can use his active ability when he comes back the next time. So essentially, you can actually, basically, within 3 rotations of this guy being on the rotation, he will then transform on the next rotation that he comes around, and then you can use his active ability the next time after that, which is just so nice. So again, active skill here, the exact wording is can be activated starting from the next attacking turn once only. And you might be asking yourself, is there a reason to not use his active ability? And there absolutely is, because it changes him significantly. It changes his kit like crazy. But if you do use his active ability after, essentially in our case, if he was like a first starter or something like that, the 5th turn, 5th rotation, then he becomes this. So his super tech changes yet again. He now causes immense damage to the enemy and massively lowers their defense. His passive, again, changes drastically. He now becomes attack plus 30% and defense plus 10% per key sphere obtained, attacks effective against all types, and randomly change key spheres of a certain type to tech key spheres once only. So that's only when you use the actual active ability. So there is a huge reason to never do this. Like, let's say in the Legendary Goku event, it is so much smarter to let him stay in this sense right here, continue to get super attacks, continue to raise his attack and defense indefinitely. By the time you're to the intelligence fight against UI Goku, you have probably maxed out his passive or very close to it, depending on, of course, like how crazy are you beating that event down. And so it's just going to make so much more sense to go ahead and just be way more safe to leave him in this state, as opposed to swiping up, using that active ability, and turning him into this. Now, if you're gonna if you're like at the finishing sort of portion of it, or any other event, then yeah, go for it. And in most cases in Dokkan, it's not even gonna be an issue. I'm very much so just speaking on behalf of, I guess, just the Legendary Goku event here. But in other forms of Dokkan, obviously attack plus 30% and defense plus 10%, plus his defense will still be heavily raised and stuff like that. You're going to be fine. Like, this isn't really going to be much of an issue. And of course, with a transforming unit like this, what do we love to see? The actual transformations themselves. So it's not going to be an issue to swipe up and use his active ability. And I just really, really love this unit. So then hopping over to the Zamasu, who actually, I was looking through them. Let's go back to the actual base form of Zamasu. He is a ROG, Realm of Gods lead, category key plus 3, HP and attack plus 170, defense plus 130. And again, a large range of versatility here with this unit, because they then also boost extreme class key plus 3, HP attack and defense plus 120%. So a good unit that can be ran with this and ran with ROG units is, say, I don't know, AGL Turles, who is an extreme class unit, and you can swap him on there and he can be a great support unit for the rest of your team. This guy causes immense damage to enemy and greatly lowers defense. Passive is attack plus 100%, reduces damage received by 40%. Again, this is another unit that changes pretty drastically as he goes along. Recovers 7% HP when HP is 70% or below, and performs the Potara fusion when conditions are met. Now, the exact same thing. 3rd turn, boom, you're ready to go. He then fuses with Rose and becomes Fused Zamasu or Merged Zamasu. Links in the sky are power bestowed by God, Cold Judgment, Prodigies, Godly Power, Dismal Future, Fear and Faith, Fierce Battle. Fits on a Realm of Gods, Potara, Future Saga, Transformation Boost, and Time Travelers. Once he does transform after the 3rd turn, we then... Actually, I think... Yeah, so his super tech aesthetically does change, but it does effectively the same exact thing. Cosmic damage and great lowers defense. However, passive changes pretty... well, a little bit. Key plus 2 and attack plus 120%. Reduced damage received by 40%, which stays the exact same, which is nice. Recovers 10% HP whenever HP is 80% or below. And then we pick up Nightmare, Fuse Fighter, and Big Bad Bosses, which of course is really, really nice for this unit to pick up. And same exact thing for him as well. You can then use his active ability as the next time that he comes around. Can be activated starting from the next attacking turn. So in most cases, your 5th or 6th rotation, you are able to use his active ability, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, again, same situation. There are going to be situations where you may not want to fuse him or turn him into his deformed state, because when you go into his deformed state, again, he changes yet again. So causes immense damage to enemy and massively lowers their defense. So it does go from greatly to massively, but there's a huge change in his passive. Key plus 4 and attack plus 280%, which in my sort of use of him, that 280% sounds insane, but in his case, it's not as crazy as you might think. Like on paper, this sounds crazy, but then when you get it into actual use, mine with I think 2 dupes was typically putting up numbers of around 2.8 to like 3.2, 3.3 million. But here's the big thing that changes with him. Instead of reducing damage by 40%, he now reduces damage received by 20%. He does disable enemy guard and superclass allies attack minus 10%. That is not superclass enemies, that is your own allies. So that is, once you're in your deformed state, you're now affecting your superclass allies that are on the rotation and stuff like that with you. So there is definitely probably some situations where you would probably rather have the reduced damage received by 40% as opposed to 20%, because that does make a difference when you're defending. But at the same time, you pretty much give yourself a super attack here no matter what, and you're giving yourself key +4, and your attack does drastically increase from what it was previously. I'm just saying from my sort of use of him with 1 or 2 dupes, he's typically putting up with solid links and everything like that, he's typically putting up like 2.8 to 3.3, 3.4 million. So don't look at that 280% and expect to see just insane numbers, but he's still really, really good. So taking a look at the actual banners here, this is the super type banner, this is the extreme type banner. Now, the thing that makes them not as worth as they were when they originally released on their JP side is because on JP, we didn't have this first, right? So what we're looking at here, these JP banners released in April of this year. And so at that time, it was the first time that we ever had Gogeta Blue and the brand new Dragon Ball Super Broly to come back, which of course increased the value of these banners drastically. However, it's not to say these banners aren't still bad. You have major value in this, in the sense of course, the brand new Trunks, Gogeta Blue, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, which it seems like I get a lot of comments from you guys that he not only evaded me quite a lot, he evaded a lot of you guys as well. And then Vegito Blue. But again, the thing is Vegito Blue was just on Gohan's banner. So if we take a look at Gohan's banner, you've got Gogeta Blue, you've got Vegito Blue, and I mean Gohan's banner's value was absolutely crazy. MVP 17, all that, like it was insane value for the banner. So that's the only thing, is that the value is still there. Obviously, if you've not rainbowed this Gogeta Blue, he's someone that I personally use on a ton of teams still, and I'm sure many of you guys do as well. If you've not rainbowed Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, Vegito Blue, stuff like that. And the other cool thing to note here is that we should not, now this is speculation, right? This is definitely hopping into speculation, but looking at these 2 banners, again, both of them have high value, really, no matter how way you look at it. I do think probably the extreme banner might have just a smidge more value, just because how versatile Turles can be, and the Dragon Ball Super Broly. And then of course you're getting, well, it's almost 50-50 split here in my honest opinion. But what I was going to try and say is that we are definitely in the realm of possibility of seeing an Extreme Z Awaken happen for the Merged Zamasu and the Trunks that came out at the same time, and the Rose and Vegito Blue that came out at the same time. So AGL Rose and VB both came out during the era of like Omega Shenron and Buuhan and all of that. They released during the 70% leads and the 100% leads. So we are absolutely in the sort of possibility of seeing an Extreme Z Awaken happen for them sooner rather than later. And again, it's possible that that's more like 5-year anniversary on JP, which then puts their EZA an entire, almost at this point still like 9 months away on the global side. But it is still, I'm just trying to say there could be more value here than what we're realizing, especially given the fact that I know a lot of the player base maybe hasn't actually pulled some of these units, because they really, I mean, they aren't on that many sort of banners like this. They're on the crazy, here's every card banners, but in terms of banners like this, they're not on that. Like sometimes when I make these videos and I sort of just disregard units like Physical Vegito Blue or like this Intelligence Trunks, people will be like, hang on, wait, you're acting like everyone just has those. Not everyone's been playing this game for 3 or 4 years and just has all these units that you just assume people have. And especially given the fact that they might get Extreme Z Awakens pretty soon, it will probably increase their value significantly. So really all there is to say about this, you've seen the banners, this is what they look like. Their value is pretty high, but for me, and this is moving into the final portion of the video, for me personally, after using him quite a lot, I think both of them honestly, and I still use both of them on teams all the time. Trunks more than Zamasu, because I find myself just enjoying the Trunks more. I don't know if it's just because he in the overall he just is a more of a fun unit, and I don't know how to explain it. But when it comes to actually taking on events and stuff like that, he is a little bit better because he still has the pretty high damage output, but he is also able to back that up with really solid defense too. Like, Trunks is a really good unit, and it's not to say Zamasu's still not fun, and it's not to say that in a lot of situations he still doesn't succeed and do everything that you need him to do in this game, because I mean, there is so few situations in a day-to-day sort of aspect of playing this game that you need some of that insanity that I'm referencing. You know, I mean, once you have fulfilled your missions and stuff and beaten Legendary Goku Venner as much as you want to, then at that point that sort of argument becomes nullified anyway. So if you're just looking at wanting to have fun, then it just really comes down to which one do you like more, Zamasu or Trunks. But then also too, when you're looking at the leader ability, Trunks, you're going to be leaning more towards of course ROG, but also extreme class units, whereas with Trunks building out a team, you're looking at future / super class units. But for me personally, if you want my own honest opinion on it, I would go for Trunks. You've got the Gogeta Blue, you've got the Trunks, you've got the VB if you've not picked him up, either one, I guess. And then you've also got the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. Now, on the flip side of that, of course, with the Zamasu, you do have the DBS Broly, who is fantastic. If you do not have a really good attack all unit for the World Tournament, he can absolutely be there for you with that. The Intelligence Goku Black, who has a slow build up to actually getting to doing some decent damage, is still a really fun unit to use and is fantastic. And then also, to sort of counteract everything I've said here, the STR Rose, if you don't have him, I still run him all the time. He's such a great unit to be ran, of course, on ROG and on many extreme sort of type teams. And then, of course, the Turles. I mean, Turles still cannot be understated to this day. He gives you Ki +3 and attack +40%. It is still so fantastic because he fits on so many freaking teams, dude. Like Pure Saiyans, anything that can, I mean, it's just like he fits on so many teams that his versatility is still just so insanely high that he cannot be understated at all. So the value is still here in these banners. There's no questioning that. The just value has been decreased some because we've already had an opportunity to pull some of these. But again, until you've rainbowed a unit, then it's still nice to pull like a new Gogeta Blue or another copy of Gogeta Blue or something like that, or same thing with Broly. So in my honest opinion, if you had asked me which one should I go for, I'm going to tell you Trunks. Like that's going to be the one I'm going to tell you to go for, just because in terms of things that I like to run personally, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, Gogeta Blue, and Trunks are all going to be reasons why I would much rather summon for the super type banner as opposed to the extreme. But I still run all the units that are on that extreme banner all the time too. Well, not the Tech Zamasu and not really the Rose. But of course, if they get Easy A soonish, which I presume they will, then I'm going to probably be running them very, very often as well. So anyways, guys, there you go. That was my before you summon. That was my thoughts on all of this. And again, if we know the time for when these are dropping, you of course can find it down below in the comment section. I'll let you guys know that down there. And if we haven't and you don't see a comment there, that's why we haven't. Or maybe the community will also help out too and stuff like that. And let me know if there's been something that's leaked, all that fun stuff. Guys, as I start out the video, if you're new to the channel and you guys enjoyed today's sort of discussion over these new units and everything else that's coming to the global side, you might hit that like button. You might also hit that subscribe button and join the hashtag NanoFam today. Guys, have a great day. Keep on keeping on. If I don't see you before you summon, guys, best of luck on your summons. And if you're deciding to skip this for LR Kel and Caulifla, the value on that banner is obviously going to be trash. It's just your basic LR banner, and the percentage of pulling them is going to be still really low because there's a lot of units on the banners, right? Your value for stones here is going to be so much higher on a banner like this as opposed to a banner like that. But I do understand because that card has been hyped up so much because of how great they are, and they're still, I think, probably the best card in the game without question. I would personally say use your stones on this banner. That'd be my own thing. But I understand if you want to try and go for them, and if you do pull them, then it is incredibly hype, right? So anyways, guys, like I said, have a great day. Keep on keeping on. Best of luck on your summons if you hop in, and if you decide not to, you can let me know down below why not. Anyways, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.